ECSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the app.
Jared, hey, we're gonna need you to tone it down with the Summer Friday thing, okay?
What are you talking about?
Well, for one, it's not summer anymore.
Oh, really?
Coconut. Also, who is this?
I'm the caddy.
Oh, he's my intern.
Sorry, intern. I'm his intern.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
No golfing in the office, okay? Summer Fridays are over. You can keep the Hawaiian shirt, but the rest of this stuff, all right? Are you grilling?
Oh, yeah. Did you want a burger or a hot dog?
No, grilling in the office.
That's a good point. We should take this outside.
No, that don't. You put that right back down.
Yo, it's all in the hips.
Oh, dude, come on, we gotta go. Let's go.
Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and it is that time of the morning, the week. Cornflakes and crack with the legend himself, Mr. Bill Krackomberger, live from Vegas, and I am live from Cape Cod. Shout out to, we are spanning the globe with this show. We can't thank you enough. I have some people in Cambodia and Thailand as we speak giving us a shout out. Of course, a shout out to Emil and his wife Danny from Port Alberni, British Columbia, and everyone else watching. Thank you so much. A shout out to Noah Frank, the gentleman behind the glass. Of course, our proud sponsor and partnerships, it's WagerWire. Head on over to Google Play, download the app. It is free. Viva Tequila Seltzer. The East Coast is cuckoo for coconuts. And of course, the second guest of this show, Mr. Terry Smith, Atlanta Steaks and Seafood. Head on over to Facebook. Introduce yourself while you're there. Head on over to atlantasteaksandseafood.com. Place an order tonight. You should be grilling by kickoff on Thursday. Without further ado, the star, the legend of this show, the one and only Mr. Bill Krackomberger himself.
Hey, good morning.
Good
How we
morning,
doing?
Billy. Good. How are you?
Good. Hopefully, yeah, there's the video. Okay, got it. I was just betting. Never stops. Betting a total just now. Looks like maybe some winds on the East Coast and some weather. Still a couple 38s out there. Let me just pop on the Don Best real quick. I'll just pop off here real quick just to tell the people. Let's see, 38. Looks like Circa still has a 38. Pittsburgh and Cleveland Thursday night. Circa and South Point, you can only bet in person. The app's not open yet, but I think this is going to go to 37. Just something I was betting here as we're speaking. So just betting the under on that game. Strictly a weather under. This time of the year we start getting some wind and weather, and I'm sure that wind is really bad according to my guys here. I guess is that Lake Erie there? I'm not really a Cleveland guy. Try to stay away from that weather. But yeah, so it looks like that wind over there is forecasting 23 miles an hour sustained, heavy rain, gusting to 30, 40 miles per hour. So always looking for those kind of edges on Monday mornings, Jeff. But nothing stops me, rain, sleet, or snow, from being on cornflakes or crack, cornflakes and crack, and here we are.
You know, we covered the gamut. There is nothing that we don't cover. When I'm writing up the description for the show, I just say NFL weekend recap, food, casinos, Circa Survivor. There's nothing we don't try to cover or we don't talk about. So, Bill, you've been a part of this. You have been front stage in the sweats. And can you imagine the 11 people yesterday that had the Packers? Here the Bears are lining up. They haven't beat the Packers in 10 straight games. Packers coming off a bye. Chicago couldn't have played any worse last week against the Patriots. Got sacked 9 times. There they are lining up, I think, for a 45-yard field goal for the win. Not just the win for them and their pride and to stop the losing streak. 11 people and $14 million at stake. And Green Bay gets a paw on it, survive in advance, Billy.
You know, I watched that game. I have some unusual bets for that. I was rooting for that game for many reasons. For some futures, I bet. So I was in between a rock and a tough place, with hard place for that, because I had at Foxwoods. I have like 6 tickets that I kept on betting under division wins. The Bears under division wins. That was their first division game yesterday, under 2.5. I took like $1.50 on that. So I needed them to go under for that. But on the other side of that, I need under Green Bay 10.5 season wins, which that was the actual line yesterday, was 10.5 still, and going into the game. So it was a tough situation there. I was thinking about it. You know, that was Chicago's first division game. So I said, you know what? It's probably better if Chicago wins this one, because I don't know if they're going to win 2 more. So I was probably rooting for that field goal. Now I'm an underdog now in the yearly Green Bay Packers season win, but I'm a big giant favorite now on that, taking back $1.50. So interesting how everyone looks at a game differently. And, you know, it just goes to show you that what I always say, Jeff, every given Sunday and any given Sunday, anything can and will happen. You know, you look at a game like this where the Bears were just, you know, 2 teams going in 2 different directions, really. And here I watched that game, and Chicago probably should have won the game. So, like I said, anything can and will happen. That's the reason why some sharp guys had the Bears plus the points, but those same sharp guys had Jacksonville plus the points. You know, Jacksonville went to 14.5 yesterday. I seen at one of the sports books, just for shortly, but it closed 14 at a lot of the squarer sports books. Jacksonville comes right out, scores first, 3-0. You say, oh, wow, look at this game. This is going to be interesting. I don't think Detroit ever looked back. You know, Jeff, it always surprises me how a team will step on the gas pedal after being up by 30 points, even late in the game, in the fourth quarter, still throwing the ball, quarter by them. You know, there's so many different people, from the quarterback to the wide receivers to the you know, running backs and stars, the marquee players. So many people that can get hurt in those situations. That here you have a very aggressive coach, Detroit. Nothing's going to make him take that foot off the gas pedal, no matter what, probably. But not just him. I'm talking about in general. I see that a lot, and I guess I'm wrong. You know, I'm just thinking common sense about it, and don't get your players hurt. Here we're going into, you know, some key weeks here, and you don't want to get some of your star players hurt. So I just found that kind of quite interesting. They were still throwing the ball in the fourth quarter, and they were up like 36 points, still throwing bombs. It just kind of surprised me. But yeah, big week here this past weekend in the NFL. And like we say, on any given week, anything can and will happen. So don't just let your eyes play those tricks on you, people, when you say, oh my God, Buffalo, they're great. They beat Kansas City. I have to bet them next week. Just know that everything you see is baked in the line. And I always say the same thing, so I don't mean to be repetitive. A team is never as good as you think they are when you're watching them, and a team is never as bad as you think they are when you're watching them. So next week it's going to be baked into the line. Don't think you have an edge just based on watching one game and say, oh, they're so great. We kind of knew Kansas City was just hanging in there all season long, even though they were undefeated. You kind of knew at certain points that over the last couple of years, they have a losing record covering games. So you may have known sooner or later. I seen last week when the line came out, it was +1. Kansas City was -1 in that look ahead line, and it actually went to 3 the other way yesterday. Buffalo was -3 at a couple shops here in town. South Point, the Win, Circa, they all had 3 at one point. A couple even closed with Buffalo -3. And as we see, it didn't get there in the end. Didn't matter, but it could have, though. This game easily could have landed on 2. It easily could have landed on 3. So it could have landed on the number. You want to make sure you're always part of the good number. Very hard. It's very hard to determine when the market will determine when that actual move is going to happen and when the peak and climax of that market happens. So it's just, you got to be on the inside. That's all I can tell you. And thank God I am. Thank God I have great connections, great sources, a great team around me. All right, that's about it for me for a second, Jeff. When you ask one question, I go on and on and on. I could just carry the whole show.
Well, that's what you're here for. That's what you're here for. I'm going to take it a step further in the Survivor contest. This kind of piques my interest, and I want to know from your perspective.
Sure.
34. I think it was 34 people had the Lions yesterday, as you said, 14-point favorites. Survive in advance, especially now when each one of these tickets that these individuals have is worth like $160,000 as we're getting closer and closer here. But not this Thursday. Next Thursday is the Thanksgiving game. 6 teams, 3 games. So you have to save at least one of those teams. So the 34 people that use the Lions are dead. The Lions are playing the Bears. Last year, everyone saved the Lions against the Packers, and Packers came in and boat raced them. Well, your second game is Giants and Cowboys, which now is going to be a battle of 2 backup quarterbacks, whether it's Trey Lance, whether it's Cooper Rush, and now the Giants have decided Daniel Jones will be on the bench, and it's time for some Mr. Divito and some chicken cutlets, or Dolphins travel to Green Bay. So my mind would say people will feel a lot more comfortable probably saying, cold, warm weather team traveling to Lambeau, 8:20 game in Green Bay. I assume those people that had the Lions yesterday will probably have the Packers if they survive this week on Thanksgiving. Does that sound correct?
That does sound correct. That Lions was it really is a bet that you make in the pool for this week, and you do it because you have Green Bay remaining, or at the time when I was in this pool, I'm not following it as closely anymore. I was ready to save Dallas for or Detroit. So it's something that doesn't work out a lot for a lot of the pros. Actually, I don't know any pros that are left in this thing. This was a real randomness this year, where we got knocked out with Cincinnati the first week. They were a big favorite over the Patriots, and the Patriots beat them outright. And now's the time, believe it or not. I'm getting text from at least 3 different people text me and said, "Hey, I'm still alive in this pool, and if you'd like to buy in, I heard last year your group bought in." It was actually my friend Steve that bought in, and I took a piece of him. And it would have to be. I'm not buying in for full rate. Someone wants to have a percentage, take a little bit of a cut, and maybe that makes it worth some value to me. But also, I want to look at what teams you have remaining compared to the rest of the field. So that means a lot, and I think we're going to be looking into this a little more serious this week for the first week, and maybe talking to some groups out there, because when you're talking about 6 figures an entry's worth, and if you want to sell 25% or something, and you stick $25,000, $30,000 cash into someone's right in front of you, compared to the $1,000 that you originally bought in for. even though you're thinking it's probably worth the 100, what'd you say, 160,000? Is that what you said they're worth,
I
the
I
entries?
I thought I heard
I'm not
and
paying
I
attention. Sorry.
yeah,
So,
I thought I heard anywhere from 136 to 160, somewhere
oh,
around there.
let's say it's 136. So 136. Let's say I want to buy 25%. Um, instead of giving them the 33,000 or whatever it is, let's say, you put 25,000 cash in someone's face, a nice pile of $25,000, and say, hey, here's 25,000. Can I get 25%? Well, first, you want to make sure it's done legally. You want to make sure it's done with someone that you know, or maybe even has some paperwork drawn up from a legal counsel or law firm, because you're talking millions of dollars at stake here. So there's a lot of different factors that get involved when you want to buy in to someone's entry. And, maybe I don't even want to say this because all the experts are out, including myself. I was going to say maybe getting some expert advice this time of the year from someone like myself, or the two other guys I'm involved in contests with, which are actually much smarter than me in contest. Maybe that is worth something to you also. So there's a price on our time and our expertise, and these guys' current and situation, and even previous contest skills where they've cashed. So it matters to somebody if that means anything to them. Then again, we're all out. So, like I said, there's a giant luck factor in these things. But when it comes down the wire here, it comes down to the tough times. Maybe we wouldn't have used the Lions yesterday. Maybe we would have used Green Bay and got lucky. We would have saved the Lions for Thanksgiving. I don't know. Maybe there's a better strategy along the ways. It's really is it's a fun contest. A lot of money involved. And this was a tough week for the pros in those contests. I know me. I was right up there at Westgate. I was in 7th place in a Westgate entry. I think I went like 1-4. I mean, all the lines that were real advantage lines for us guys, us players, they went down. Cleveland, like, +1 or +2 or wherever it was, they wind up, being a favorite in the game. So it just situational. Those type of games went down, and I bet a lot of those antiquated lines. The contest lines come up Wednesday, and you have until Saturday to put your picks in. So you hope that the sharps iron out the line the right way, and you hope that the contest using the antiquated lines that got me there. That got me to. That's the reason why I was in 7th place out of 1,500 people. It got me along the way, and it got me to 7th place. But weeks like this, you go 1-4, you get knocked way back. The luck factor comes into play, and you get knocked down. That's why they're sometimes it's so frustrating to do Circa Millions and the Westgate Super Contest. It's so hard to cash in these things. There's been years where people have hit 65% and got nothing, 66% got nothing, 70% has won this pool, multiple times, 72%. That is just impossible. It's just, that's how hard it is to do, Jeff. It's these pools and these contests have such a luck factor to them. Luck has to be on your side. That's funny. I have some family in town, and I took them to the hockey game last night, and we were talking at dinner about how luck in general, I'm beyond the algorithms, the models, the analytics. There's still something we don't know. We're all forces of energy inside of us, and being positive and confident, there could be something there. I had a cousin that went to Fordham, went on to MIT. Very, very smart guy, smartest guy in the family. He's the one that first turned me on to this 40 years ago, by the way, when I was a teenager. Literally about how things run in life. There's just some kind of a factor there of maybe it is that energies that are inside. We're all fountains of energy, like I said. I don't want to push this overboard and say, oh, luck means everything. Listen, you put yourself in the position to be luck too. You put yourself in positions to be lucky too. But there could be something there. I like going into every situation being positive. Every situation. I have weekends where I don't want to throw a number out there, but it's a sick number. I have weekends where I can lose a ridiculous amount of money. Yesterday wasn't the greatest day for me, but I've had a great season. The season's been great since preseason football, totally destroying bookmakers. They hide under their beds on Monday morning. Trust me, it's been a great season. But even though I had a rougher week this week and going into last night's game, it doesn't mean I force anything. I'm not going to bet something just because I'm losing, or tonight's game. I'm not going to bet something just because I'm losing. That's the hardest thing to do. Probably the hardest skill set out of anything I know is to leave a casino losing with more money. You have money in your pocket. And what do we say? Oh God, let me just get even and I'll be done. Let me make a big bet and martingale and chase my loss and I'll be done. Let me just get even. That's the reason why these casinos and brick and mortars are in existence. It's the reason why the sports books are in existence. It's the reason why we used to settle with our bookmakers on Monday night instead of Sunday. Monday closed the week because everyone was chasing and trying to get out. It's the human nature. It's our human makeup. It's the human condition. We just want to chase and get even. We want to win. We want to win since we're little kids playing checkers with our dad. Life, Monopoly, Operation, whatever game you played. We're taught from a young age when our brain was a sponge to be a winner, to win at things. And we get upset when we lose. It's very common. But now you're putting money up and putting money into these things. And it has to be controlled. You have to have the skill sets. Someone just called me up, a guy that I know, that very close guy to me, that I do shows with every week. He says, "Hey, Crack, I'm thinking of moving to Vegas." I said, "Oh, you're thinking of moving to Vegas?" I said, "Well, let me tell you something, brother. Drinking, drugs, women, gambling, this is just some of the things you have to face in this town." I love the town. The weather's nicer than a lot of places I grew up in back east and stuff. But there's a lot of skill sets you need to be a successful person in a town of vice. Now, there's vice in a lot of towns. You have every town in America now. You have a 3-hour drive. You can be within a gambling establishment, a racetrack, a casino, lotteries. I understand that, but here they have everything. So, but also good food. Sorry.
No. I wanted to follow up. Shout out to Richard Poplis. Cornflakes and Crackers, the best YouTube show on Mondays. Great team, Jeff, with you and Bill. Thank you so much, Richard, here for showing up every Monday. Shout out to Howard Blindman, grinding day by day. And it is a marathon, not a sprint. I say that all the time. If you need a new pair of sneakers, head on over to your local FootJoy or wherever you buy. Get a new pair of Nikes and buckle up and enjoy the marathon. Bill, before we go on to our final subject, we got about 8-9 minutes left here. John Ewing puts up bet splits, and he does a lot of for BetMGM.
Yeah.
And back in the day, I used to do a lot of work with Sports Insights. I used to be a part of the 630 crew breaking down the bet slips. When you could see the actual slips versus the money, you could see the real line movement. And then you use the word reverse line movement, yada, yada, steam. When it was actually real, now everyone's doing it. You don't know what to trust or whatever. But John put up an amazing tweet yesterday. The popular bets on Saturday: Oregon, 82% loss. Louisville, 75% loss. Tennessee, 72% loss. Notre Dame, 71% loss. Texas, 68% loss. LSU, 64% loss. K-State, 63% loss. Ohio State, 62% loss. 3, 6, 0-8 the public was,
Wow.
per John Ewing. Now you talk about mindsets. So take it this one. If the public was all in on these 8 selections, you wake up, I always say this, you wake up after a 12, 14-hour stint of battling the books on Saturday, probably hungover Sunday morning, and your bankroll is gone. You owe the book a few dimes. You have no more outs, and you start firing on Sunday, when you and I both know that's the exact opposite.
Yeah. Well, first of all, now I know who, of course, John Ewing is, and I know that BetMGM, because I interview their director of risk every Sunday on my show, Countdown to Kickoff on Fox Sports Radio, and the director comes on there and he tells me exactly what he needs and what he doesn't need. Now, first off, I want to tell you, the Jake Paul fight for these sports books guaranteed them they could not lose money for the week no matter what. These sports books, that's how many people bet on Mike Tyson in that fight. These sports books made a lot of money. Some of the biggest decisions ever on a boxing match ever. And I'm even using Mayweather and McGregor. I'm even talking about. So big week for the sports books. But going into yesterday, they had giant decisions on the Detroit game. He could not get off. He couldn't hang a number to get off all his Detroit bettors. And you know, MGM has a presence in Michigan, so that's probably also why they had like 85% of the money they had coming in on Detroit, and they got what, you know, they obviously lost money on that game. So I like knowing what the people are on that are, let's just face it, it's the public. I want to know what percentage, and I'm not so much the dollar amount, Jeff. I want to know what the tickets are. So I want to know that 85% of the public is betting on certain thing. When it's 60-40 money, that doesn't mean nothing to me. I want to know which way the public is betting tickets wise, because as I always say, as I said last week on this show, on every show, God protects the bookmaker. We know that. They have their own. I think the big guy upstairs is still driving, you know, his '76 Cadillac DeVille or something with some of these bookmakers out there, because they seem to be blessed at all times. But going back to the betting splits, believe it or not, and the MGM one's fine. There are some of them that I think they're just fugazi. I don't want to know about betting splits that are antiquated. I want to know up to minute. I want to know up to the date of the game, the time of the game, so which is tough to do. I know that, but everyone seems to make their decisions in the last minute or two. So I want to know what that is closer to the actual bell than something that's a couple days ahead of time. We know which way the public's going to go. We know which way the public marquee teams are. It's real simple in the NFL. It's the Buffaloes, the Kansas Cities. I'll even say the San Francisco, even though they lost yesterday, San Fran, that was a good game for the sports books for Seattle to win outright. But there's some of the marquee teams, the Detroit Lions. These are the teams that are going to get bet every week. But just know this, people at home. If you're going to bet those marquee teams, you can guarantee you're paying a tax on those teams. What I mean by that is, you're betting on all the big sports books, the DraftKings, the FanDuels, the BetMGMs, the William Hills. They already know that you're going to bet no matter what they put up. You're going to bet that way anyway, because most people only have one or two sports books. Two would be a miracle. Most people just use the one sports book because they have to post up their money. So they know which way you're betting, and you're going to pay that tax, and the tax is in the way of half a point. Jeff, did you freeze? Are you there? Test 1, 2. Brown cow. Come in, Jeff Dawson. Well, I don't know if we're still alive, but I would hope we are. Jeff, I think I lost you. Test. Well, guys, if we're still on here, and I don't know, but I could check the YouTube feed.
No, that don't.
Let's see if we are. Let's see, Mr. Jeff Dawson.
No, that don't.
Oh, we still are. All right, I'm live anyway. So, guys, listen, Jeff was going to ask me a question. I'll ask the question. He said, Bill, you know, when I come to Vegas, I love a good pancake. I said, oh, okay. And I was like, Jeff, you know what? We have pancake places. I wrote them down for him. So we have over at the Wynn, which you guys probably know, I love the Wynn Casino. There's two places there. One is Terrace Point Cafe, and one is Tableau. Those places, oh my, and by the way, you're going to pay more. I'll be the first one to tell you. You go to Tableau, you're going to pay $25 for pancakes. But you're getting the most unbelievable lemon regatta pancakes over there at Tableau. At Terrace Point Cafe, I like their blueberry pancakes. Jeff, I'm answering your questions. You weren't here. I'm talking about pancakes. Terrace Point Cafe, blueberry pancakes there. You have to ask the chef to put, that's right, just ask your waiter. She said, listen, I would like to get blueberries in the batter. They'll do it for you. Trust me, I've done it already. Let me give you another place. Blueberry Hill. There's a ton of them in town here. Blueberry Hill has fantastic pancakes also. Their blueberry pancakes are great. There's like 4 or 5 locations in town. Locals place, always packed up. I always go there. There's a new local place here called Early Birds over on Blue Diamond. Another great place. They have lemon poppy seed pancakes. Oh my God. And they also have a churro pancake. This place, one of the big influencers hit them up, and they're now going off the charts on the radar too. But Jeff, I think I answered everything. You were away. I took care of it. We're good. And I'll see you next week.
Billy, I can't thank you enough. Thank you for picking up the slack. It looked like there was a big drop. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
All right, buddy.
The one and only Bill Krackomberger. Go follow him at Bill Crackman. Of course, at Crackwins on the app. You can catch him on VSiN. You can catch him on Fox Sports Radio. You can catch him everywhere, but you only can catch him here on Monday morning, 7:30 a.m. back west. And, of course, here on the East Coast at 10:30. No, let's go to a couple quick commercial breaks. We're going to come back with Mr. Terry Smith live as it's getting close to turkey season. And I know he's Atlanta Steaks and Seafood, but he's got an amazing turkey and some other stuff to talk about. Tough game for the Falcons. Big win between the hedges. Couple quick commercial breaks, and we'll be right back. ECSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the app.
2,000 years long, we will never settle. Hard days, no way, with a heavy metal. No time, no fail, won't stop here. Like a torch to a flame when it burns hot.
You know, the internet and the weather, I call it Mother Nature, is undefeated. And in the middle of the show, I just lose everything. The internet was dropped on Cape Cod for some reason, and I come back and Bill's talking pancakes. I didn't even get to talk to him about Tommy CUTLETS Divito. Obviously, Bill's a guy from the back east, New Jersey, and in comes Mr. Divito. I love his agent there with the hat and the Italian stallion look. So we'll get to that next week, as it looks like Daniel Jones will be grabbing a clipboard potentially for the rest of the season there. Back with us this week. Took a week off. He was on location. We gave him the week off, but he's back here during the holiday season. Let's bring him in. The CEO, the founder, the man, Mr. Terry Smith. Morning, Terry.
Hello, Mr. Dawson. Can you see me okay?
I can see you. You just drive safely, please. We'll make this short and sweet here. How are you, my friend?
I'm excellent, and I do love pancakes. So I need to eat less of them and more meat.
Well, we're getting to the holiday season. We'll get to what you got to offer everyone at Atlanta Steaks and Seafood. Want to backtrack? Let's start with the bad. Hey, listen, you know, we know your division, the Atlanta Falcons, every week's a different week. I think you were put into a real tough spot. Denver coming off what should have been a win at Kansas City. you're seeing Bo Nix evolve right in front of our eyes. They have a great defense. Sean Payton has probably got one of the best pulses on his team than any team right now in the NFL. You walk in there, it was Nix early and often. You could tell right away it was going to be a tough day, Terry.
Yeah, Bo Nix is awesome. I saw him play at Auburn, and he gave Georgia all they wanted several times. He's the real deal, especially with a coach like Peyton. He's just going to make him better. Everybody was saying, "Hey, why are you getting rid of Russell Wilson?" And now you see why. Everybody here in Atlanta is more of the same with the Falcons. We haven't been the same since 28-3. So it's what it is. It's disappointing. I knew it'd be a tough spot, but that was ridiculous. So hopefully we can get that out of the way. But I think you would win our division. I don't see us going far. You hate to say that about your own team, but you lived in this town for 50 years. It's not going to change a whole lot. So it's just overall disappointing, and it was bad that we just didn't show up. In fact, I was coaching basketball, and I sort of left the game, so I didn't have to watch all of it.
Well, you look at a division, the Bucks were off, and as Bill was talking about, Cleveland at one point was a 2-point underdog in New Orleans last night, and they closed as a 1.5, 2-point favorite. And then there's the Saints back where they started, where they're starting to gain some momentum again with Derek Carr. The Bucks were off. It was a great spot for you. I didn't expect you really to win that. Season's not over. What are you looking at moving forward, Terry?
I think the division's up for grabs. If we don't turn our game back around, Saints could win. Their schedule's easy the rest of the way. They could win 4, 5, 6 in a row. You can't keep Baker Mayfield and the Bucks out either. They win a few games. They took KC to overtime just a couple weeks ago. It's wide open. We'll see what happens.
Well, Saturday night, I know all the eyes in Atlanta were glued between the hedges as Georgia faced off against Tennessee. It was a drag 'em out. It was an amazing game. It was a must win. Your playoff started on Saturday. You already had 2 losses. You were outside looking in. I've seen you move back up to 7th or 8th. You played one of the toughest schedules in the land, but that doesn't matter because if you would have lost to Tennessee, your season was done like LSU. Thoughts on Georgia, Tennessee on Saturday?
Georgia showed back up, my friend. It's almost like playing an NFL schedule now. You got to be ready, and you play away in the Southeastern Conference. You're not going to win many of those games against the top 10 team, top 20 team. But Beck got up in front of the team on Monday and had a little speech. I think it was just as much for him as it was the rest of the team. And I think it showed, that we woke back up. Defense was great. The offensive line, after playing like, a peewee team, showed back up. Not one sack against a great Tennessee D-line. They hadn't given up more than 17 points all year, and we took care of that. Got a few breaks and a couple calls, which never hurts. And he was getting hounded. Everybody, even the local fans, even Georgia, they were. You get spoiled when you had such a good run. Won just a couple losses to Bama in 3 or 4 years. Everybody gets a little spoiled, but everybody was getting, ramrodded and talked about like they'd never played football. And I believe we're back.
Well, again, it's glad to have Georgia back. Again, I saw a lot of usage from the tight ends. No ETN, no problem. Again, the defense played well, and of course the return of Carson Beck. You guys will be a hard out if and when you do make the final 12. So we're super stoked and excited for the big win for the Bulldogs there. I can't let you leave, obviously, without talking what I'm hearing about your Atlanta Braves. We're getting close to the hot stove week here, and I'm looking at your pitching staff. A lot of question marks, a lot of free agents, whether it's Charlie Morton, whether it's Max Fried. Spencer Strider will not be ready for the start, and you had a career year from Chris Sale. I'm hearing the name, and I would pounce all over this, Terry, Walker Buehler. He's had 2 Tommy John surgeries, but man, he was a bulldog in the end of the season and in the playoffs and in the World Series. I mean, he was 96, 97. He's someone that I would want at the front of my staff. Thoughts on Walker Buehler to the Braves?
I always love Walker Buehler. I do want to say I think Brock Bowers showed back up for the Bulldogs on Saturday night. There was both our tight ends were just having a huge day. So congrats to them. Walker Buehler would be a great asset. Brings the heat, has a wicked curve. She has a great assortment of pitches. I never liked to face him, but only bad pitch he's ever thrown against us was the Acuna Grand Slam, and he was a rookie. Acuna was a rookie, so love to have him. You can never have enough arm, so it's going to be interesting to see what goes on with our pitching staff and if everybody shows back up healthy.
Is there any buzz, any names that you're hearing floating around in Atlanta that you guys are hot and horny for?
Honestly, I haven't heard about Braves. It's football season down here, so I don't know. I wish I had a better answer for you, but I don't. Charlie knows that guy can throw to 50 and still might be okay. But it's just going to be a crapshoot here when we go into the free agent season and all the signings in baseball.
You think you're going to make a solid effort to try to re-sign Fried, or are you going to just move on and maybe bring in a Walker Buehler?
I would love to re-sign Fried. I think with the season he had, the money that they were talking about him getting may not be offered. He's been hurt a lot the past 2 seasons. Part of you says, hey, let him go. And then, a lot of you says, hey, he's one of the best top 10 pitchers in the league. I'd love to re-sign him, no doubt. You saw what happened when we lost Freddie. We don't want that to happen again. That guy pitched a no-hitter in a World Series. So I hope Strider is healthy. That's huge. Hopefully he can come back by May or a little bit sooner. And I don't know about Sale. I'd love to have Sale back.
Well, you got the career year from Sale. Obviously, you need a healthy Strider. You need a healthy Acuna. You need a healthy Albies. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know. Maybe you get Morton on a hometown discount. And I think if Fried does leave, I think that gives you more sense of urgency to come back and get Buehler. But since you're driving, I'm going to go to a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to give you the stage and tell everyone what you have to offer this week. And, of course, with Thanksgiving coming up 2 Thursdays from now. Noah, one quick commercial break and we'll be right back. Terry, the highway is yours.
Thank you, sir. Sorry I had to do it from the car today, but it's turkey season. I have fresh organic turkeys, and people are buying everything here the next couple weeks here locally. God is good. Bless my business. basically for all our listeners, 10% off anybody here in the podcast. Just put code STEAKS10 and check out any of our products, our steaks, seafood, chicken, pork chops. We do have some great appetizers here for the football season, from mini beef Wellingtons to mini chicken quesadillas and shrimp and grit balls. Great appetizers for watching the Thanksgiving games. Sort of hard to ship a turkey or a ham. The cost effectiveness is not there. But hey, our fillets, our strips, it's a good time to get them, and ribeyes before everything goes up for the holiday season, cost wise, especially fillets and ribeyes. But we'd love to help you out any way we can. Once again, 10% off for any of our products, and either a 1 or 2 day ground shipping here on the Eastern or Central time zone, or if we have some people here in Atlanta, we can come directly to the house. So any way we can help you, we'd love to.
And the website is, Terry?
I'm sorry, AtlantaSteaksAndSeafood.com. AtlantaSteaksAndSeafood.com. We have a Facebook page, Instagram page. You can go to our things and keep up with us and order right from the page. And
all
you
right.
can also call me directly, 770-873-2733. Sort of old school in there as well.
Terry, drive safe. We'll catch up throughout the week. We'll have you back on Monday. And then again, we can't thank you enough for all you do. That's Steaks 10. Get 10% off your whole order. Go over to Facebook. Follow Terry at Terry Smith. Introduce yourself. And then while you're there, go to AtlantaSteaksAndSeafood.com. And he'll take care of you. I promise, I got fillets. I got New York strips, the cowgirls. I got it all, Terry. I got a box of lamb. I'm whistling Dixie back east, Terry.
The lamb is really good. It also have the rack of lamb, too. Also, big racks we can take care of you there as well.
Drive safe, Terry. We'll catch up to you real soon.
Great show, man. Thank you very much. Y'all have a good week. You
too. Terry Smith. Go follow him on Facebook at Terry Smith. Bookmark AtlantaSteaksAndSeafood.com. The promo code STEAKS10. Guys, the holiday season's coming. He's right in Atlanta. If you live on the Eastern Coast Seaboard, or he said even the Midwest, 2-day ground, I promise you, his product is second to none. His customer service is even better. So without further ado, one more quick commercial break and we'll wrap it up.
2,000 years long, we will never settle. Hard days, no way, with a heavy metal. No time, no fail, won't stop here. Like a torch to a flame when it burns hot.
Crazy way to start the week. Of course, the one and only Mr. Bill Krackomberger. We were talking Circa NFL. We're talking the mindset. We're talking betting splits. Our standing room only. Shout out to Richard Poplis, of course, Mr. Russell Saylor, Emil, Danny. To my wife, April, who is now in Cambodia, was in Thailand earlier this week on a 2-week mission. Love you, miss you. See you this Friday. Of course, Terry Smith with Atlanta Steaks and Seafood making his usual Monday or Tuesday appearance. Again, run on over to AtlantaSteaksAndSeafood.com and use the promo code STEAKS10. Get 10% off your whole order. I promise you. Place an order today. Place an order. Buy yourself an early Christmas present. Surprise the family for Thanksgiving. You will not be let down. STEAKS10 in the promo code. Get 10% off. 5 o'clock currently, the closing bell with myself, Riley Magnuson. We'll be back here. We could be doing it sooner. Keep an eye on our timeline. Shout out to Noah Frank, who has left the building. I got it under control. From there, on Tuesday, we'll be back again on the Breakfast Bankroll. Andrew McGinnis at 10 a.m. talking some NHL and NHL futures. Till then, guys, have a great blessed morning, a better afternoon, and we will see you soon.